one, tarnation!
I meant to do that.
Howdy folks, this is Applegeek, and once again, I am way behind on things. It is now Friday, May 31st. Episode 9 aired last weekend, and I'm just now getting to it. I just got episode 8 done and uploaded last night, waiting on copyright stuff and whatever, and it's been a crazy couple weeks here, just with work stuff and being sick and just life in general. It's proving very hard to actually get caught up on the show. I do apologize for that, but anyway, I'm finally here watching this, and yeah, the next few weekends I got stuff going on too, so all I can say at this point is I will get these done eventually, as soon as I can. Maybe by the end of the mid-season hiatus, I'll actually be caught up. We'll just have to see. But in any case, I am here finally to watch episode 9. Oh, and just FYI as well, I'm sure you've seen I've been kind of quiet on Twitter lately too, because I had the title of the last episode spoiled, and now that was like the one piece of interaction I've had with the fandom, and now I'm a little scared to even check that because of reasons. So I apologize for that as well, but I will be posting a few updates as things go. But yeah, I think at least until I'm caught up, it's going to be a little quiet. And I am aware that actually we've gotten early releases from other countries up through episode 13. So I'm really trying hard to avoid spoilers right now until I get caught up. So anyway, enough about that. Episode 9. I've got my friends here that have been just bugging me to say, watch this episode. So pretty sure it's going to be a good one. So we'll see. Episode 9, starting now. Oh, back at the school.
Headmare Twilight?
Hey, Smolder.
Sorry to bug you in the teacher's lounge.
Smolder episode?
Is it okay if I miss class?
You can make it up tomorrow.
Actually,
For-
I'll be gone for a week.
A week?
Wow.
In the middle of the semester?
Uh-oh.
Is everything all right, Smolder?
Family problems?
Not exactly.
Stuff like home? What?
My brother's been having a hard time since I left for school. I want to go home and check on him.
Despite
He's a
going
really
with-
sweet guy, and the other dragons can be kind of rough.
Oh.
Did you say sweet guy and dragon in the same sentence?
He's sort of like you, Spike.
Oh!
I'm sorry to hear about your brother, Smolder, but the Dragonlands are really far for you to go by yourself. And I'm not sure about you
They've
missing
been
so
back
much
and
class.
forth by themselves
What if
several
she has
times.
full credit for it? Kind of like a kindness field trip. I'll go with her.
Yes! Yes! Called it!
Dragon Lord is way too busy for personal problems when it's baby dragon hatching season.
Baby dragon
Oh no!
hatching season?
Oh no! Okay, she's going with.
Sprouts poking out of those eyes have a little shell. Tiny, twitchy tails.
Diabetes!
Well, you are the perfect pony to lead a kindness field trip. Fine. But I'm gonna expect a full report when you get back.
How many pages?
Oh.
I was talking to Fluttershy. Hatching season sounds fascinating.
Oh, the diabetes just went over 9,000. Wow. Still dealing with this pesky cough too. Sorry. Oh boy, I did not expect Fluttershy to be going too, but Baby Dragon has season, and hey, Smolder episode, get to see your brother finally. I expect good things from this episode.
Okay,
What's the
I'm
title?
used to what cheers me up when I'm down, so if your brother's like me, he's gonna love it. What should we do first?
Sweet
Smile
and
song,
smoky.
sharing circle, or friendship bracelet weaving?
I'm not sure those are the kind of things my brother's gonna be into.
Yeah, no.
Well, what would make your brother happy?
Just having Spike and me accept him for who he is will make a huge difference. Dragons who appreciate his more sensitive side.
I
What?
got it. Show tunes.
Yeah, no, but good try.
Nice jazz claws.
Oh, that's an interesting smell.
Ooh.
Stink of sulfur.
I was gonna say that I love the smell of sulfur in the morning.
It's good to be home.
I can't wait to meet your brother, Smolder. We're gonna be best buddies. I just know it.
What kind of a
Usually hangs out near here.
character is he gonna be? I'm thinking not your typical dragon for some reason.
Take a peek at the cute little baby eggs.
No problem.
What is-
I'll stay here and finish this comfort blanket. It'll be like a hug every time Smolder's brother wraps it around himself.
Oh no.
I'm sure he'll love it, Spike.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Oh, she's going looking for the eggs.
Oh my goodness!
Oh no. Aww.
Good morning, little one. I've come a long way to meet you. Did you know there's a whole wide world out here waiting to see?
I think Fluttershy has bitten off more than she could chew here.
Can't answer it. It's an egg.
Oh, hi, Ember.
Lord Ember, how nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Which one are you again? Party one? Apple Dash. Or is that the country one?
The one who loves creatures.
Aw.
All these yours?
What? No, none of them are. Watching over
Wow.
eggs is just part of the glamorous life of a dragon lord.
I think it sounds wonderful.
Yeah? Then maybe you can help.
I love to.
You didn't even have to ask.
I don't know. It's my first time being in charge. Dad wasn't big on sharing Dragon Lord details. It's kind of a burn or be burned job.
Well, I'm sure you're doing great.
Not really. The eggs should have hatched by now, but none of them have even cracked.
Oh.
Dear. Maybe they're lonely? Don't you worry. Auntie Fluttershy's here, and the Dragon
Auntie Fluttershy.
will do everything we can to welcome you into this world.
Really? How?
I have no idea.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Now that's
Would it have to
thing
be
of beauty.
dipped in lava to dehatch or something? I have no idea. Oh, is that Garble? Yeah.
It isn't our little pony friend Spike.
That's Equestria's official friendship ambassador to the Dragonlands to you. And I'm not little. I had the mold. See?
Oh, boy.
Runt's got wings.
Here we go.
I'm so impressed. What's that supposed to be?
Nothing.
Looks like a baby blanket to me.
It's not a baby blanket. It's a comfort blanket.
Aw, did your pony
Close
pals
enough.
make it for you with friendship and gumdrops?
Aw.
No, I made it. And by the way, knitting is a lot harder than it looks.
Check out the baby blanket, guys.
Are they gonna be knitting by the end of this episode?
Got your blankie.
Bunch of schoolyard bullies.
Crying.
Oh, miss.
Spike, you can fly, you know. You don't have to jump for it.
Give it back. That's for my friend. Cut it out.
Whoa!
You don't laugh fire's dangerous.
What's with the multicolored flame? Oh! That was a hate crime.
Garble!
Smolder? What are you doing here?
No! No! No!
Bro.
Do not tell me!
We better get out of here before you.
Oh my... No.
This is very nice to sensitive dragons.
But Garble is my brother.
Problem with that, pony boy.
Oh, brother.
I've missed you, bro.
I did not see this coming!
There's no lava diving at school.
Good luck getting Garble to do anything.
Yeah, he's been so weird since you left. Hiding and moping around.
Have not.
Oh!
Easy, guys.
It's
I
all
think
just an
Twilight
act,
School
the whole
ganging up on
bravado
each other
thing.
isn't half as cool as you think.
Oh.
Pony school made you soft.
Wanna try
Dr-
and find out?
Say, just try it, buddy.
Later.
So, let's get lava diving. What do you say? Better stay here, shrimp. Lava might ruin your blanky wanky.
Let the wimp tag along. Then we'll have some dragon to dunk.
Only gonna warn you once. Spike's my friend. You mess with him, you mess with me. Besides, he came here to hang out with you, Garble.
Awkward!
Oh, sweet.
Let's go do dragon stuff. Garble can have fun with his new friend.
Wow.
Having fun, and he's not my friend.
Yeah, just ignore him, Gar.
Gar!
Not in public.
It's okay to have a nickname. Sometimes I'm called Spiky Wikey.
Seriously? You're admitting this?
Yeah,
I am not hanging out with him.
by one pony
Give
in
it a
particular.
chance, Garble. You guys have a lot in common.
Fine. Race you to the lava pit.
How much do they have in common? I
You said your
wonder.
brother was sweet.
All the tough guy stuff is just an act.
Uh-huh.
He's a big marshmallow.
Yeah, not seen it.
Well, maybe a burned marshmallow.
Aw.
Smoky on the outside, but squishy inside. He just
Sweet
needs
and
friends
smoky,
to appreciate that
uh-huh.
part. Like you. You're not changing your mind about helping me cheer him up, are you?
Me? Course not.
Nah. Well, maybe a little bit.
Okay, lava jumping. Just like old times, huh, Gar?
Yeah, it's like old times. Except for one little annoying thing.
Aw.
Scales away! Come on in, the lava's fine.
Okay, swimming in lava I can understand. Actually,
It always helps if
taking
I
some in
do
your
something
mouth.
with a friend.
Wow.
How about we jump together?
Ouch.
Ooh. Spike, you okay?
Ouch.
I know there must be something worse than lava up your nose.
Oh! Ew.
I just don't know what it is.
That's gotta burn. That's gotta burn bad. Oh! Oh! He just found out what's worse.
Oops.
Swallowing lava is definitely worse.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
My bad.
Okay, what are we gonna have to do to get past this tough guy act here?
They all lived happily ever after. Time to come out.
And what's going on with the eggs?
Woo.
I'm still going with they need to be dipped in lava or something.
Maybe you'd like a song?
I think you might be encouraging
Aw.
them to stay in. Dragons aren't much for touchy-feely stuff.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
maybe more than you'd care to admit.
Why are
Oh,
the eggs shaking? Are they finally hatching?
are they
I
cold?
wish. They've been doing that for days. I'm sure it means something.
They're cold.
Probably not good.
They need lava. That's my story and I'm sticking to it until I'm proven wrong.
Guaranteed to brighten any creature's spirits.
Aw.
Better already.
I
Oh!
don't know about you.
Pinky just
but
felt
change
a
of scenery
disturbance in the
always
force
turns my
there.
frown upside down.
Loser.
I will be the bigger dragon. I will be the bigger dragon. I will be the bigger dragon. Sometimes just hearing what someone appreciates about you can make you feel better about yourself.
I'll go first. Spike, I think it's really nice that you're trying to cheer up Gar.
Thank you, Smolder.
Gar.
Mike,
That name's not gonna get old.
I like how you always let every creature know how you're feeling, Gar.
Only Smolder gets to call me that.
Thank you for speaking your truth.
More fresh lava coming.
Gonna have to find what really like motivates that guy. Okay, here comes the lava.
Okay, new activity. Who wants to make vision boards? Hey, Garble!
Vision really?
Surf's up!
Let me show you how it's done.
You coming?
I'll catch up with you.
Too bad Ocellus isn't here to check out some rocks.
Hey, Fluttershy.
For a land that's all rocks, this place is surprisingly easy to get lost in.
How's the baby dragons doing?
Because every rock looks the
Eggs
same.
won't hatch. They just keep shaking. I'm starting to think the dragons are too scared to come out. I was hoping you could help, if you're not too busy cheering up Smolder's brother.
Yeah, I needs a break from that.
Smolder's brother is Garble. The only thing that cheers him up is to make me miserable.
Hey, Spike. Wanna play lava ball?
Excuse me?
Oh no!
It's not a very nice game.
Ah, nearly got you.
I mean, Leave my friend alone, please.
Fluttershy's in mother mode here.
His way to cheer up Garble, which was a very kind thing to do.
Aw, do you need cheering up?
What's wrong, Garble? Did some dragon...
Oh no, he's losing his street cred.
No, I don't know what she's talking about. Spike's the one who's gonna cry.
Hey! Are we lava surfing or what?
Oh, yeah. Let's go hang with a real dragon, not a pony wannabe.
See? It's no use. Why don't I see what I can do about the eggs? And you cheer up Garble. At least he listens to you.
Oh!
Just you wait, Garble. You're dealing with Fluttershy now, and she's packing a whole lifetime of kindness.
Oh, it is on!
Coochie, coochie coo. Coochie, coochie.
And Fluttershy's in rare form in this episode.
I said coochie.
What are you doing?
Not helping.
Spike!
Hi, Ember.
Aww.
Be doing whatever it is you do at Twilight School?
I wish. It's a long story. Wow, these eggs really do look scared.
Orb. Cold.
Wait, aren't the hatching grounds supposed to be hot?
Of course. There's a lake of molten lava under them. That's why the eggs are laid here. The heat makes them hatch.
Then
But-
something's wrong. I don't think the eggs are shaking because they're afraid.
They're dumping all the lava out of that pool, so...
Right! But what happened to the lava?
Garble.
Might have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Garble! Smolder! Is any dragon there?
What do I say? I called it.
Oh my! Are those bongo
Bongos?
drums?
Fire, dragon, wig, and wagon. Feel
He's
the
a
rag.
poet?
I be sagging.
I dig.
Oh my word!
Raging lava.
Busted!
Fresh lava coming.
Okay, he and Maud need to have a little poetry reading together or something.
See? I wondered where that lava was coming from. They must be draining it from the underground lake.
Oh, they're in trouble now!
Put that rock back! Immediately!
Yes, Dragon Lord Ember.
How long have you been removing these boulders?
All
A
day?
while?
Days, weeks.
It made our lava pool so nice and warm like.
Oh, it's supposed to be heating the eggs! Now they'll never hatch!
Ooh, yeah, you better run away. Wow.
Sorry, Dragon Lord Ember.
We'll put the lava back.
Here you go, lava. Come on.
I'm thinking this is too little too late here.
Liquidy.
I don't think it works that way. The hatching grounds can't be the only one place in the Dragonlands. There's got to be somewhere else we can take the eggs.
You know how fragile those things are? No way we'll be able to move them all safely. You! Go and bring all the dragons to the hatching grounds. We'll have to make the heat ourselves.
Oh.
What do you think you're doing sneaking
Flame
around
on.
here, pony?
Sneaking? It looks to me like the only one sneaking around is you. Why didn't you tell me you were a poet?
I'm not!
Liar.
Words, rhythm, sometimes rhyme, weird punctuation. Sure sounds like poetry to me.
It's okay, Garble.
Where did that come
I
from?
don't think you're soft for being a poet. And neither would any dragon who was your real friend.
Aww.
Okay, fine. But I'm not a flowery, namby-pamby poet. I'm a
Just-
deep poet. Dig.
I totally feel you.
Okay.
And you better not tell my friends about it.
But why? If I was a poet, I'd want to share my creations with every pony.
I'm the only one
Yes.
Garble will perform for. He hasn't written any poetry since I left.
Too scared to take a
That's why he's
chance.
been so sad.
I
Aww.
need to create. But if the other dragons ever found out I like this junk, they'd make fun of me forever.
Is
So
that
what?
why you pick on Spike? To make your friends think you're tough?
Wait, you've been picking on Spike?
Only when you're not looking.
Ever since he met
If I
him?
didn't pick on Spike, They just pick on me. And he is kind of a weakling.
I'll have you know Spike is stronger than you are any day.
Yeah, right. That little cupcake-making, blanket-cuddling pony dragon? Give me a break.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with being a pony. Second, Spike isn't afraid to be who he is, no matter what
Yes!
you or
Yes!
any creature thinks. That's real strength.
Yes!
Not like some dragons I know.
For a pony without a horn, she sure got a point.
We're looking all over for you guys. We need your help.
That was a great line. This is gonna start something, isn't it? I think I see where this is going. I'll talk later.
I've ordered every dragon to
Remember,
order
guys,
eggs, but they
over
still won't
easy,
hatch.
not well
I don't know
done.
what else we can try.
We can't give up. There's got to be something we can do.
How about we wrap the eggs in a bunch of baby blankets?
No, that's not a bad idea.
Wimp can knit them up real quick like. Hey, watch it! That lava fire could burn some ponies!
Okay, Spike, time to show your strength here.
Good idea, Spiky Wikey.
Hey! Only Rarity gets to call him that.
Come, burst into that light. Break through shells that bind.
Okay, what?
Break free. Explore. Stuck between rock and...
No dabbing!
Please.
How is this? Oh, just... Okay. Friendly fire.
Freedom, come. Don't be shy. Look those others in the eye. State your claim.
It's working.
Stop. Just do. Be the one and only you.
Spike, look!
There you go.
Their lava fire is so hot, it's hatching the eggs!
Come to life.
Also needed
Proud to be.
hotter fire. Okay.
Open up. Bam. Be free.
You did it, Garbo! You performed in front of other dragons!
And it was super lame. What kind of weakling writes poetry?
The hero of the Dragonlands.
Yep.
That's who.
Yep.
Yeah, Garbo saved our eggs because he was strong enough to be who he is, whether you liked it or not. I grew up thinking it was okay to make fun of differences, but my friends have taught me to celebrate them.
Yes.
And from now on, in my kingdom, that's exactly what we will do.
Uh-huh.
No, if you don't mind, can you teach me how to write poetry like that? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Yeah, me too.
I want to learn.
Take a number, guys.
I'll take them all.
Yeah, I think I'm close to needing a defibrillator. I like this episode. Oh boy. Yeah, I've definitely got some thoughts on how this is going to tie into the bigger picture for the story of the season, but I need some time to rewatch and process this, so stay tuned, guys. I will be back shortly. Okay, so this episode went all kinds of places. Very interesting places. Let's start with the most glaring revelation. Garble is Smolder's brother. I did not see that coming at all. In retrospect, I feel like I should have seen that coming, but I honestly just never really even devoted much thought process to this. I mean, we knew she had a brother. I just guess I figured it would be somebody, if we ever even got a chance to meet her brother, it would be a new character. I mean, we did get a new dragon character not that long ago in Father Knows Beast, so It just never really occurred to me it might be somebody we know. But I'm kind of glad it turned out that way because it made for some very interesting interactions here. You know, and I was honestly at the point where I thought that there's no way we'd ever see Garble reformed. You know, like he's just kind of one of the lesser antagonists that would always be there. You know, like didn't really feel like he needed to be reformed. But I guess it's just one of the loose ends that the showrunners decided to tie up for us. And it was a lot of fun. I do very much like the idea that there is a lot more to Garble than just the schoolyard bully image that he's been projecting. And, you know, it honestly is really similar to kind of the Diamond Tiara reformation. So that was kind of a cool thing to revisit. I still wish we get more on Diamond Tiara, but we'll just have to wait and see. And Garble's hidden talent actually does kind of make sense when you think about it. You know, if you recall, back in the episode Uprooted, I had noted that Smolder, to my surprise, was actually rather talented in the way that she quickly carved out that tribute sculpture of the Tree of Harmony from a big chunk of rock. I just had never really expected, that much artistry out of a dragon. Not that I didn't think they were capable of it. It's just not something that's been visible in their culture that we've seen to date. So that was really cool to see. And now that we saw her brother has this, beat poetry thing, I think it's safe to say that artistic expression runs in the family. I honestly get the feeling that the dragon species as a whole are actually a lot more creative and artistic than maybe they would care to admit. You know, for whatever reason, their culture has evolved in such a way that everyone just feels like they have to put on this, tough guy image in order to be considered acceptable in social settings. You know, like dragons are tough and we're better than everyone else, that type of thing. And, anything cutesy or any kind of emotional expression is just seen as like a sign of weakness and whatever. So it's generally not accepted. And it's clear that Garble's become accustomed to putting on this tough guy face when hanging out with his so-called friends, while also allowing his true nature to come out more when he's alone or, especially with his sister. And his friends really just are not good at all for him. I thought he was always kind of like the ringleader of the group and they were just the tag-alongs, but now it looks like it's actually maybe more his friends that were more the bad influence on him rather than the other way around. So, obviously he said he's, doing it so he won't get picked on himself, but it seems like he doesn't really like the fact that he's doing it, but he's just kind of, in self-defense mode on this front, given their, accepted social interactions. And, it also occurred to me that it's possible that he might actually be envious of Spike, because Spike gets to live in an environment where he's, comfortable being able to be himself, and Garble isn't. So even though he doesn't, like the, frilly cutesy pony stuff, just, the fact that Spike is getting to enjoy himself that way, that might have something to do with this equation here. Now, of course, Garble still has a pretty low opinions of ponies in general, but, that's a whole other issue. And Fluttershy kind of dealt with that. More on that in a bit. But, while I was reflecting this episode, what actually surprised me the most is just how much I find myself actually relating to Garble. Yeah, I said it. I relate to Garble in this case. Never thought I'd utter those words. But this whole situation with him is highly reflective of real life in a lot of cases, especially in school settings where, kids feel so much, peer pressure to not appear to be any different from the majority so as to not get, picked on for being different. This is something I know all too well, as I did not relate well to most kids my age when I was in school. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but I was just always different in a lot of ways, including my preferences for clothing, entertainment, and so on. And also my analytical thought processes allowed me to do very well academically in certain areas where many others struggled. And to really make matters worse, I found that for whatever reason, I often related more to adults than others my age, and this affected my interactions with the teachers in ways that made the other students think that I was a teacher's pet. I could go on, but you get the basic idea. I didn't fit in. I knew it. The others knew it, and they constantly reminded me of it. This is definitely not a fun feeling to have. However, trying to act a certain way just to fit in often does not really accomplish anything other than making you feel worse than you already do. You know, I remember certain scenarios in which I did things to try and fit in, and just none of it really ever panned out the way that I had hoped, leaving me even more disappointed than before. You know, one specific example, at one point I wanted a certain brand of jacket that, you know, was the latest trend. You know, almost everybody had one. And, you know, my parents finally relented, and I got one, and I was overjoyed because, like, finally, like, I get to have this like everybody else. And I showed up at school and discovered that nobody really even cared that I had one because it was just the in thing that everyone was expected to have in the first place. You know, anything I did to try and fit in like that just actually made me less special and unique, because once you conform to the popular trends, you no longer stand out and you just basically get ignored. You know, granted, unless you were like an actual trendsetter, which I most certainly was not. You know, granted, some people would probably rather be ignored than, you know, stand out in such a way that causes them harm, but you're really only hurting yourself by doing this, because you end up not being able to actually share your specialness with the world, and you can end up feeling worthless as a result. Believe me, I know, I've been there. On the flip side, it actually can be very difficult to come to terms with being different and standing out from the majority. And I should note that this problem may never fully go away for at least some people. You know, I struggled with this in grade school and all through, you know, through college, and even now to this very day, I still deal with feelings like this. I mean, obviously to a lesser extent at this point, but it's still something that kind of haunts me as I go through life. You know, I just have a very particular set of interests and hobbies and whatnot, and it's really difficult to find people who have similar interests that I can feel comfortable around. And when I don't feel like I like the same things as most others around me, like coworkers or anything, it's really hard to get into a comfortable social situation with them. So, but I mean, thankfully, because of this very show and this fandom, I've finally found some people who share a lot of my interests, and, you know, who I feel comfortable enough with to reveal a lot of aspects about myself that I wouldn't reveal to just anyone. In short, I finally made some real friends. But more so than that, it gave me the courage to risk potentially the most intense scrutiny and ridicule that I have ever experienced in my entire life by creating this YouTube channel and doing reaction and commentary videos. You know, without any real friends and being discouraged from trying to go out and make friends because of my unique interests, my gifts of analysis and general goofiness were kind of going to waste because I just wasn't really sharing them with anyone else. And upon discovering this show, I wanted so badly to share all these thoughts that I was having on the lessons and characters and everything in these thought-provoking stories. And so I finally took a chance and put myself out there. I was expecting to get laughed right off YouTube and go right back into my tiny little pocket of existence, but, you know, and kind of feeling foolish for having even thought anyone out there would actually laugh with me as opposed to at me or care about anything that I had to say. Instead, something absolutely amazing happened. I found acceptance and encouragement. You know, and sure, I've been ridiculed and flat out insulted by a lot of people along the way in like YouTube video comments and things like that. But overall, the positive response has far outweighed the negative on this journey. And I've gotten so many comments from people that say that, you know, my laughter is infectious, and that if they're having a bad day, they can just watch, you know, some of my reactions and be cheered up, or, you know, that they've gained a greater appreciation for the stories and lessons in the show, you know, based on my commentary, and have been able to apply those lessons to their life to, you know, in a positive way. And it just, the sheer number of people that have watched my videos and have responded like this is simply mind-boggling to me, because I just never thought that just being my crazy, nerdy, goofy self would have such a positive impact on so many people, so many lives. And yeah, I put myself out there, and not only did I make friends as a result, but I now live with the knowledge that if I hadn't taken that risk, that there's a lot of people out there who might not have, you know, had a smile on their face when they needed it. Getting back to this episode, and looping this back around, we see a very similar situation with Garble. Yeah, it seems like we've had a lot of just be yourself type of episodes, but I feel like this case is really rather unique. It wasn't so much a matter of not being true to himself. I mean, he was being true to himself by, doing his poetry and stuff. It was just struggling with the fear of actually sharing that with others, due to the potential for ridicule. And because of this, he just kept quiet about it and only performed in private, and just kept putting on this like personality mask, if you will, when he was in social settings, so as to not draw unnecessary attention to himself. But then here at the end of this episode, when he saw that the baby dragons were in trouble, and that the laughter of the other dragons was causing him to blow this hot fire and stuff, he threw caution to the wind and pulled out his beat poetry and made them laugh harder and harder, knowing full well that the resulting fire would actually warm up the eggs and allow them to hatch. And what happened? Yeah, he received ridicule, just as he would have expected from the other dragons, at least at first. But he also got recognized for the value that he provided by sharing his talents, and the positive outcome of his actions far outweighed any amount of ridicule that he got. If he had not done what he did, an entire generation of dragons could have been lost. And the fact that he was so willing to risk his own reputation in order to save the babies, I think that speaks volumes about his true character. Especially when a lot of the other dragons didn't really seem to care at all, which is rather disturbing, honestly. It's like your whole next generation could have just died. I've said things like this before. I will say this again now. You can never possibly know just how much of an effect that you can have on other people around you in this world. If you don't take the risk of putting yourself out there and sharing your special talents with the world, you're not only letting yourself down, but also anyone else who might have been positively impacted by your actions. This is something that I have reflected on many times, and this was a special moment for me, seeing myself in this, in Garble. And I just really hope a lot of you guys can see this and relate to this as well, and hopefully be encouraged by this to really push yourselves to go above and beyond. Trust me, that there is risk, and there will be setbacks, but I think ultimately the rewards will ultimately... I just said ultimately a lot, I know. The rewards will be worth it in the end. Now, all that said, what's really cool about everything that just happened here, this whole kind of shift with the dragons at the end, I'm pretty certain that this is going to serve as a catalyst to spark a significant change in dragon culture. And I mentioned during the reaction that I think I see how this is going to tie into the overarching storyline this season. And thinking about how all the creature nations are most likely going to have to work together against a common foe at some point, namely Grogar, and dragon culture just seems so polar opposite of that of the ponies and others. I just really wasn't sure how that was going to work out. How are they going to be able to put aside their differences and find some common ground together? Now, clearly Smolder is embracing the lessons of friendship and has allowed herself to accept the fact that she likes cute, silly things, and that's a trait that's quite contrary to that of the culture that she comes from. But I wasn't sure how she was going to be able to share that shift in mentality with the rest of her species. And now that Garble has become a hero doing his poetry, and Ember has made it quite clear that creative expression is to be celebrated and not ridiculed, I suspect that many of the dragons might actually begin to reveal a side of themselves that they, like Garble, had hidden away all this time. And just think, there is now a whole brand new generation of dragons that was just born that they will have a chance, maybe, to grow up in a society where a creative expression is encouraged where it never was before. That's not to say that the dragons will become just like the ponies, nor should they, because they still have their own unique culture. It just means that they will actually have a chance to actually become more than just the crude bullies that have little to no appreciation for anyone who's not a dragon. Now, granted, I don't necessarily think that the entire dragon culture is just going to magically change overnight, but this, I feel like, is a really big step in the right direction. So I think it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as we head towards the big finale here. And shifting gears a little bit here, how awesome is it that Fluttershy, of all characters, of all creatures in this world, was the one to successfully convince Garble that he should want to share his talent with the world, given, especially given her own issues in the past with sharing herself with the world. I mean, you know, she's early on she struggled a lot to just, you know, do well in any type of confrontation. She was scared to, you know, of her own shadow, like I think literally at one point. And then, you know, as time went on, she gained confidence. But in Philly Vanilli, we still saw that she was, you know, even though she was having fun singing and with her animal friends, she was, you know, scared to death of performing in public. And had some stage fright going on. And then, you know, there was still other kinds of self-confidence issues, like in Fake It Till You Make It. Definitely not my favorite episode, but there Fluttershy actually was, you know, not comfortable enough with her own self, her own true personality, to be able to deal with all these different customers in Rarity's boutique. So she ended up kind of transforming herself into alter egos, different identities, to try and relate to those various customers. You know, she's really been through a wide range of self-confidence issues. And I don't think any creature in all of Equestria is more qualified than she is to gently but firmly encourage Garble to be comfortable with who he really is and to take the risk of sharing his art with the world. And yes, overall, Fluttershy's performance was incredible in this episode. And first of all, she's in full mother mode over the baby dragons. I don't think I've ever seen so much Flutterbeaties in one episode. And the way that she was forceful with Garble, not only in terms of positive encouragement, but also the way that she stood up for pony culture, that would have made Ironwill proud. I mean, let's be honest here. You know, and that little speech he gave just prior to that about how, you know, Garble had better look out because she's packing a whole lifetime of kindness. Wow, I mean, Fluttershy, for all intents and purposes, has successfully weaponized kindness. And it, you know, it really just seems like she's achieved a whole new level of self-confidence and really has mastered the art of standing firm in a confrontation without becoming a jerk and bully herself. I mean, there wasn't one single moment in this entire episode where I saw her being, like, apprehensive in any way. She had no qualms about going to the Dragonlands, no problem facing down Garble and his buddies, you know, and being bullies to Spike and whatnot. I mean, she just rocked this episode, no pun intended. And I know this wasn't really a Fluttershy-focused episode, but I've got to say, this is now one of my top, most favorite Fluttershy episodes of all time. Probably top 3. It was that good. As for Spike, I have kind of some mixed feelings about him in this episode. You know, my initial impression upon first watch was that he kind of failed miserably in standing up for himself and just kind of took all the abuse from Garble while letting others like Fluttershy and Smolder, you know, basically try to, you know, stand up for him instead of himself. You know, even now I do still kind of feel like he should have done something, said something, even if just to tell the others, you know, you don't have to get involved, it's not worth it. You know, but after kind of thinking about it for a while, I think maybe the reason that Spike didn't bother confronting Garble on the bullying and stuff is because he didn't really feel the need to prove himself to Garble. I mean, as Fluttershy pointed out, Spike is actually a lot stronger than Garble because he's not afraid to be who he is, regardless of what others think of him. And quite frankly, Spike already proved his mettle by obtaining the Bloodstone Scepter from the volcano back in Gauntlet of Fire, of course, before he turned it over to Ember. You know, even though he's young and lacks physical strength, his strength of character vastly exceeds Garble's at this point. But on another front, I actually kind of find it humorous how Spike was able to actually help out in this story. I mean, he kind of failed with, you know, helping Garble try to get in touch with his feelings, but then went to help Ember. And, you know, I get that Ember didn't really get much, you know, training for this position of Dragon Lord, but she's lived in the Dragonlands her entire life, and yet she failed to notice that the dragon eggs were not getting the necessary level of heat that they needed to hatch. And then here comes along Spike, who has probably the least amount of exposure to the Dragonlands and dragon culture as a whole of pretty much any other dragon that we know. And in about 10 seconds flat, Rainbow Dash should be proud, he figures out that the hatchlings are cold due to a lack of underground heat. And Ember even said that she knew that they needed the heat. So I'm kind of surprised after all the time she'd spent around the eggs that she didn't realize this. But just to play the other side of this and give it a little bit of a benefit of the doubt here, seeing as how dragons can literally swim in molten lava and be just fine, obviously their sensitivity to heat levels is significantly different than other creatures, like drastically lower, so that maybe could explain how she missed it. It's just such a small change that maybe she just didn't really think about it or notice it at first. But in any case, Ember was awesome as always. I just love how she is trying to imitate Fluttershy's baby talk. She needs some work on that. And not to mention how she still gets all the ponies mixed up with each other. And, on that note, I think there was actually kind of a little bit of a reverse jab in this episode. I mean, Fluttershy commented at one point for, how a place that's made entirely out of rocks, it's surprisingly easy to get lost. It seems to kind of suggest that she was saying, oh, all these rocks look the same. Just like for dragons, like all the ponies look the same. It may not have been that at all. It may not have been an intentional thing, but it just kind of felt like a little bit of a reverse jab there in terms of a cultural thing. So if that was a subtle joke, kudos on that. But that's all I have for this episode. Absolutely fantastic episode. Loved every bit of this. Really relatable to me personally, and honestly a very valuable lesson for all of us. And just to mention, I do realize that Garble never actually apologized to Spike or anything, but you know what? Given the reasons that he provided for why he was doing what he was doing, and the fact that he really put himself out there at the end and subjected himself willingly to all that ridicule just to try and save the baby dragons, I'm kind of willing to give him a little bit of a pass on it at this point. So. But yeah, so just the season just keeps getting better and better. Can't wait to see the next episode. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'll hopefully see you again very soon for the next one. Later.